It's Wakefield Trinity Wildcats against St Helens. Can the Wildcats be the outsiders for the 6 against the Saints side, who have won their last 3 since losing at Wigan? Well, Shane McNally inside that dressing room knows that his men finished next to bottom for the past 2 years and 10th in 2000 and 2001, but they really are on the fringe of a playoff spot this year, and it could have been much better. They extended the likes of Hull, Wigan and St Helens in their own backyard, but they have lost on this ground 4 times so far this season. Quick check on the way the two sides line up. It's Wakefield with Halpenny, Wainwright, Dimitriou, Domic and Kadulala, Ellis, who's the captain, and Jeffries at scrum half. And the forwards, Korkidas, March and Field. Solomona, young Mark Applegarth, a local junior, turning into one of their finds of the season, and 19-year-old Rob Spicer. He's the loose forward. And the subs, Snitch, Hanforth, Talipau and Blake. And the coach is Shane McNally. Now the men from Saints. Albert is the fullback, Gardner, Gilmore, Tallow and Hardman, Hooper and Wellens. Forwards, Fossard, Wilkin, there's no Cunningham and Mason, Joint, Edmondson and Sculthorpe, who's the skipper. And the subs for Saints, Funati, Fasavalu, Graham and Roby, the coach. He's Ian Millwood. Well, the Saints emerge. Their only reverses so far have been at Bradford and Wigan. This is the first of 3 games in the next 8 days. Huddersfield away on Wednesday, London at home next Saturday. No respite as they go for a grand final Challenge Cup double. Out they come, the Saints. Big question mark over them, particularly bearing in mind the fact that Cunningham is an absentee tonight. Once upon a time, St Helens and Wakefield was one of the great rugby league fixtures in the 60s and 70s. Wakefield winning the title in 1967, beating the Saints in a replayed, drawn championship decider. This is a new version though. They lost 26-20 at St Helens the week before the cup final. They gave the Saints anything but an easy ride ahead of their big trip to Cardiff. And out they come. They're aiming to complete 3 home Super League victories in a row. For the first time in their 5 years Super League life. They've beaten London and Salford recently. Now can they topple the Saints? Gareth Ellis, the youngest skipper in the Super League, leads them out, the 23-year-old. And this Wakefield side has surprised a few in Super League this year. Maybe not their own supporters, because Shane McNally recruited very well during the off-season. The likes of Solomona and also Sid Domic, who is the Wildcats' leading try-scorer in the Super League. And this fellow, Michael Korkidas, well, he really does fancy his team's chances here tonight. And Carl Kirkpatrick is the referee. Ray Tennant's the man watching the videos. Let's hope he won't be called on too often this evening. But Steve-O, can Wakefield achieve mission impossible?
Yes, I think they can. I also mentioned at St Helens this could be the banana skin that they could very well slip up. Ian Millwood, their coach, realises that they cannot put in a performance like they did in the first half against Warrington. Put it mildly, they were woeful. And he knows that they've got to make sure that they keep their defence solid. It certainly was in the second half, but I'm sure that Wakefield will really take it to them. Watch for the first impact on the first tackle.
Darren Alberts underneath the kickoff, gives it to Keith Mason, once upon a time a Wakefield Wildcat, and the charge was led by Mark Applegarth. Wakefield flying in, and it's Mark Edmondson who has the ball for Saints, 20 metres away from his own line. The ball is spun wide. Wakefield really muscling up in defence this opening set of 6. They feel that this might just set the platform for the rest of the game. Wellens playing tonight at scrum half, not as effective as he usually is at full-back. Sculthorpe, though, much responsibility on his shoulders. There's the kick, and underneath it, Colm Halpenny, the full-back. Hooper, the first man to greet him. Good tackle by Jason Hooper, suffering from flu this week. He's hardly trained, according to his coach, Ian Millwood. But again, Hooper and the likes of Sculthorpe, they put their hand up for the coach and the club, and they're out here to try and do the business.
The big problem, of course, for the Saints is that with so many, well, not 100% fit, suffering from flu, and it really will take it out of them. It's going to be late in the last quarter where perhaps St. Helens may struggle.
This is March, the lively hooker. Oh, and that was knocked forward by Edmondson, surely.
That should have been a knock-on.
It's play on.
Good enough, Bob, shout something.
And this is Willie Tallow. It's a contentious rule, this. It has been ever since it first came in. But they ruled that Edmondson did not play at the football.
Dipped his shoulder. Oh, what an offload there.
By Fozzard to Hooper. This is Wellens. That looked as though it might have drifted forward. 3 tackles gone. They're 20 metres away. And they go down the short side with Sculthorpe. He finds Wilkin. Good defence.
Solid defence by the centre, Dimitru. It had to be as well, but they're close.
They're very close. It's the last tackle. That was another run from Wilkin. Mason, the dummy half, gives it to Sculthorpe. He will dab the ball to the in-goal area. Oh, and it's picked up almost casually there by Halpenny. And he's knocked on.
Beautiful little chip over the top there by Sculthorpe. Created all sorts of problems. And Colin Halpenny has come up with a serious error.
It means more pressure on this Wakefield line. 7 wins so far for the Wildcats, but poor home form has cost them a place inside the 6 already. 3 wins, 5 defeats on this ground.
Watch for the inside pass. It might be a set move.
Hooper from the base of the scrum to Darren Albert, crowned the fastest man in rugby league after the contest for charity on Wednesday. He plays the ball to Sculthorpe. Sculthorpe gets the first try. It was inevitable, really, after Halpenny knocked on underneath his own sticks. And Paul Sculthorpe, that's 98 tries for St. Helens now. This is his 190th St. Helens appearance.
Well, he just run on the arc. Lots of disappointment for the side. This was the kick that put them in that. Halpenny got himself in a position, but this is where he just had the ball dislodged. See the knee there from joint, just dislodged it, and a simple dumb in a reach out. Sculthorpe. And Wakefield will be displeased with that, and rightly so. But what a pass, you know, from Nick Fozzard. As he was going to ground, put them in a lovely pass, put them in a position, and when the fullback Halpenny came up with the error, this fella sneaked over for the 4. Getting back to his best form, I feel.
Very much so, and he's the new face of rugby league. He has signed a sponsorship deal with a manufacturer, and along with David Beckham, Paul Sculthorpe will be the face of rugby league later on this year. So the Great Britain and England international, Paul Sculthorpe, giving the Saints the first 4 points of the night. He is so important to Ian Millwood's side in the enforced absence of Long, particularly, and Gleeson. This is the man who can carry St. Helens forward, and he's looking here now to convert his own 4 into 6. Bit of a breeze tonight, but Sculthorpe makes nonsense of that. It's Wakefield 0, St. Helens 6 here at the newly named Bellevue ground.
Well, sadly, the tries conceded this year, the Wildcats, there is the coach Shane McNally, will be disappointed with the fact that he allowed them the opportunity, especially the mistake by Halpenny. He's a pretty cool customer, though. They really need to get themselves downfield, get in good position, but something you don't want to do is to allow St. Helens to have consecutive sets of 6.
Here's Mason again, Keith Mason, the prop forward, a former Wakefield prop. He was here in 2000 and 2001. Well, Paul Sculthorpe has put an early marker down. I think he's after another watch as man of the match. Dave Hadfield from the media, our spokesman. It's Sculthorpe all the way so far.
Well, he's been terrific for the last few weeks, hasn't he? And is the only one of what you might call Saints' big 4 on the field tonight. He carries extra burden as well. John Wilkin at hooker, he's been very good, doing all sorts of jobs for them in there for Kieran Cunningham tonight. And Darren Albert, we found out all about his pace in midweek. He'll get opportunities to show it from full-back, I'm sure. For Wakefield, Gareth Ellis and David Solomon have been outstanding in every game I've seen this season. But another very consistent player, Jason Dimitru, probably playing the best football of his career.
Thanks, Dave. We'll be talking to Dave with about 5 minutes of the match remaining. That kick from Sculthorpe just a bit too deep. It went dead. Semi Tadulala just dancing out of the way of it.
Well, that looked a pretty high shot as well from Sculthorpe. Here's the winger Tadulala yet again.
Oh, round the neck of Sid Domick. March gets the ball away. But good St Helens defence. Still penned inside their own half, the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats. This is Solomona. This is the danger man for them.
Certainly is, but if you're going to get the ball so flat like that, you're not going to trouble this St Helens defence. They've got to stand back a couple of metres and run onto the ball a little bit later. Maybe we get the half gap. Good offload.
Great offload by Corkidas. David March was alert, but it's still the last tackle and they're not over halfway yet. And it's Halpenny who was the dummy half. He puts it back to Ben Jeffries, who angles the kick towards the corner, and that will skip away from... No, it won't. Yes, it will, from Ian Hardman. And the ball runs dead in goal. Shane McNally, he's a pretty cool customer. He's looking forward to the match. When I spoke to him yesterday, looking forward to it with some effervescence as well. Just hopes his men will perform on the big stage.
It's going to be difficult as well for the Wildcats to really get themselves sorted out, mainly due to the fact that St Helens got off to a pretty good start. Nice try from Sculthorpe. And teams like Wakefield, you know, they rely on so much enthusiasm.
Fossard, talking of enthusiasm, the drive forward by the big prop. That's 4 tackles gone. He's right on the halfway line as he plays it to Jason Hooper. And Hooper makes 10 metres for the last tackle. Wellens the dummy half. Here's Sculthorpe. Jeffries out to close him down. High kick though. That will hang in the wind. Oh, and they waited and allowed Albert to get to it, but Albert's passed straight into the arms of Solomona.
Well, he took the gamble. Neat little kick. I must say that Shane McNally, the Wakefield coach, won't be too happy with the way that they allowed Albert to get to the football there. And one thing you can't do is to let the ball either bounce or just let the opposition...
Great offload! And here comes Halpenny, and he's got Domick on his inside in support, and Sid Domick will have the pace to go over under the sticks. That's a terrific Wakefield try. What a response from the Wildcats. Sid Domick, that's try number 11 in the Super League, 14 in all competitions now. He's in great form.
What a superb offload here. Look at that. Fantastic stuff from Corkidas. Fullback Halpenny fed it well just at the right moment. Domick was in absolutely scintillating form, but this is nothing short of outstanding. We saw one a few moments earlier from Nick Fossard, but Michael Corkidas has come up with one equal to the task. This is out of the top drawer. Great support. They're back in it, much to the delight of Sid Domick.
What a pass from Michael Corkidas. And David March in front of the sticks will level the scores. Just the response, I'm sure, that Shane McNally would have wanted to the early setback of the try to Paul Sculthorpe. It's 6-all here. Tony Smith, the coach of the league leaders, the Leeds Rhinos, I'm sure if we really pushed you, you'd be saying that you fancied Wakefield to win tonight. But that's a great response.
It is. They're contrasting teams in coming out of their own end, I think. Wakefield rely heavily on their offload, and they're good at it. They can offload in the tackle, and they do put you under pressure. And if you remember recently, that's what Sculthorpe did against St Helens for Wigan, and it really put them under pressure. The other team, Saints, they throw the ball around in their own half, and actually a lot of dummy half runs to get out of their own half. So there's a contrast in the way they play.
And contrast sadly here for Semi Tadulala. He lost the ball in the tackle. It went forward.
Well, they tipped him, didn't they? You can see they turned him on his back.
Edmondson and Mason.
But Edmondson got right underneath.
What about that hairstyle, Steve-O? It's not bad, is it?
Looks all right.
Willie Tallow for St Helens. Tadulala and Domick combining with the tackle. Plays the ball to Hooper. Here now is Chris Joint. Wakefield defence standing its ground. That was Applegarth.
Well, you're talking about the standing the ground, Eddie. The problem is that they're not moving forward. They're just waiting and see what St. Helens are going to come up with. And I'll tell you what, they'll come up with a try.
Oh, well, Darren Albert, did he lose the ball as he plonked it down? The referee wants video referee Ray Tennant to take a look at the grounding, but you're right, they're standing back on their line there. They're allowing Saints to come at them. And Albert, well, he was on to the pass from Sculthorpe in a flash. Now, did he get it down cleanly? No.
This will be no try.
There's weight of numbers there.
That's where he loses it. Yeah. No downward pressure. That's what you need. That's what the video referee has to decide on. This is NOTRY, no doubt.
No try and a 20-metre restart to Wakefield. Well, they will breathe a sigh of relief because of that.
And Shane McNally has got to get the word out very, very quickly that, look, the way that St. Helens play, they always have somebody deep, and you saw there that the fullback, Darren Albert, coming in just at the right moment, just wide in the centre, and created all sorts of problems.
They get the penalty now. Edmondson, all over the top of the grounded man, March.
Well, that's silly play.
Korkidas it was, I beg your pardon.
A bit different.
Ian Millwood, the St. Helens coach. 5 trophies for him now. 2 Super Leagues, 2 Challenge Cup and a World Club Championship. David March, the dummy half. Solomona now. Spins away from Mason. Can't get away from Joint. Mason comes back for a second. But look at the offload from Solomona to Halpenny. That's what he does so well. They talk about Ali Lauatiti at Leeds, and rightly so. But this fellow, Solomona, on his day, he can do wonderful things with the ball.
Certainly can, and as we've already seen, Michael Korkidas to prop forward. And that's good angle running. Good tackle by Mason, it had to be.
March.
Joint's in trouble.
Jeffries, he is. Joint is down and holding an arm as they come forward here and score the try with Jeffries. Wakefield over behind the sticks. Joint was down out of the defensive line, and it looks like he has major problems. And Ben Jeffries comes up with try number 10 of the year for him. One of the forms from Hearts in Super League, and proving why.
Oh, it was superb play, wasn't it, by the skipper. Ellis back on the inside, and that is a belter of a try. He was involved in it twice, was the half-back Ben Jeffries. But the skill here, from the captain. I made the point before the kick-off. How would he handle Gareth Ellis, the standoff? He likes playing in the centres. He likes it even better when he's playing loose forward. And a wonderful offload from Dimitru. Did everything right. Good position by the referee as well, Kirkpatrick. No need to go to the screen on that one. Sensational try. 2 tries have been produced by the Wildcats with offloads.
And 2 conversions added by David March. 12-6 to the Wakefield Wildcats against the mighty Saints. Phil Clark, we thought when we arrived here today there might be an upset in the air, and Wakefield playing like they believe it too.
Yes, I'd agree with that. I think although we're only just over halfway through the season, it's fair to say that this Wakefield side are the most improved side in Super League, and they're going to try and show that tonight. If they have had one problem in recent weeks, it has been the start to games that they've made. And reading comments made by the captain Gareth Ellis this week, he said that's been a key focus. Well, at 12 points to 6, it looks as though they've listened to his words of advice.
Absolutely, 12-6 to the Wildcats. And Keith Mason won't want to be on the losing side against his former club. Look at the offloads, though, for Wakefield.
Well, I'm just about to make that point that, you know, full credit to the Wildcats. It isn't as though they're just snatching tries, Eddie. They build up to it. As you say, the ability to look for a man. The way that he just went round and lost that.
Korkidas lost it.
That is a big error. The one thing that they've struggled with already in 14 minutes of this half. And a right meal of it.
Well, he knew, I think, as soon as the ball left his hands that Carl Kirkpatrick or his touch judges would pick him up for that mistake. By the way, Chris Joint has left the field. He's been replaced by an 18-year-old second rower, James Graham. Here is Albert, the ball behind Talau, who managed to turn and pick it up. Tackled by Sid Domick. Albert in at dummy half. Taking them on himself, Darren Albert. About 18 metres away from the line with Hooper, who finds John Wilkin.
Much better defence there. You can see that Wakefield getting off the line quickly.
Hooper again, infield it goes to Wellens. There was a big gap for Wellens, and he nearly slid over the line. Hooper waits. They're right underneath the posts. Here's Sculthorpe, engineer-in-chief. Oh, interception! A possible interception. It's Wainwright, the winger. Darren Albert's the quickest in Super League. Is he going to be quick enough? Wainwright skips away from Albert, and he has the legs to take him home.
What an interception! And how well was that from the centre of the winger, Mike Wainwright. He knew that Albert was honing down on him, and he just whittled the body and just pushed him away. It took him a while. He looked leaden-footed to start with. Why they went for that, Sculthorpe. It was surprising, but he read it exceptionally well. Look how he's looking to see where Albert is. See how he just moved back on the arc. This is what it means to a coach that goes in for the third try. Nearly lost his knickers, but it didn't matter. He was making it all the way. Well, that really has brought this Wildcat crowd alive. Pulls his pants up now. Job done.
But I wonder why he slowed up after he got away from Albert. Now we know. His shorts around his knees. March adds the extras again. It's 18-6 to the Wildcats. No, don't adjust your sets. That is the right score if you're just joining us tonight. The Wildcats ahead against Ian Millwood's mighty Saints. And they fully deserve it, by the way.
Certainly do. You've got to take a big gamble, you know, and Mike Wainwright certainly did that. Paul Sculthorpe, the Saints captain, going out wide where they were successful. And Sculthorpe himself went in for the try, but didn't he read it well? Mike Wainwright.
Great take of the kick-off by Jamie Field. This is his 150th appearance for Wakefield tonight. It's driven in by Mark Applegarth, the local junior, this young man, turning into one of their finds of the season.
It's important now that Wakefield just calm things down. Don't get too excited at the fact that they've gone in for 3 quick tries. They've got to try to get good field position, good kick and chase. Try to force the error. It's quite slippy out there.
And even slippier because the rain is falling quite heavily right now. That's a great kick from Ben Jeffries, and all the way back to his own try line goes young Ian Hardman, and a great chase led by the captain Gareth Ellis. Well, a fantastic start to the Wakefield Wildcats, 18-6 up. Tony Smith, you haven't got a smile on your face, but you would have excused for having one.
It's been a funny start. St Helens have completed every set so far, and haven't got as many points on. The only error they made was going for a try. Really, it was the intercept that they threw just then. They've recognised a bit of a weakness, I think, down the right-hand side of Wakefield there, and it was he was living on a sword there. If he hadn't have taken that ball, it was a walk-in try for St Helens. So, yeah, the completion rate isn't so good for Wakefield, and yet they're leading on the scoreboard.
Funny old game, isn't it?
Sometimes the stats tell lies.
Don't they just? Did you just see that? And that's a penalty by Fozzard going for a piggyback on Tajilala. I was just going to refer to the wonderful challenge by Wellens on Halpenny when Tony Smith was talking. It was a flying tackle. But Fozzard going for the piggyback concedes the penalty. Just look at this again.
Oh, great stuff, isn't it? Pretty solid guy, though, Paul Wellens. No stranger, though, to the half-back position. He's preferred at full-back, of course.
This is Applegarth again. A 3.5-year deal here at Wakefield, signed a couple of weeks ago. March. Infield it comes to Gareth Ellis. Such an inspiring choice, an inspired choice by Shane McNally to make him the captain. Owen, a dangerous high challenge on field by Mason. Allowed to play on by the referee. It's March. They will come down this left side with Jeffries. Cuts in field. Halpenny. Oh, forward pass. Forward pass.
No try. Good positioning yet again from Carl Kirkpatrick. He's having a wow of a game. No doubt about it. Halpenny was just leaning towards his left, trying to offload.
It was worth the risk, though.
Certainly was. Solomona was feeding the hooker David March. It's great to see the officials, you know, Eddie, that just keep up with the play, put themselves in a very good position.
Let's go.
A lot of people have been critical of late, you know, that many officials are just using the video referee as a get-out. Not this guy tonight.
Midway through the first half, we have injury news. Is it about Chris Joynt, Bill?
Well, it is. Chris Joynt certainly has a problem. It looks like a shoulder injury for the Saints veteran. Left-hand side, left shoulder rather, is what's troubling him. Also a problem, I think, for Jamie Field, who's just come off for Wakefield, has dislocated finger on his left hand and is just having it, as we speak, gently reinserted by one of the Wakefield medical staff. It didn't look that gentle to me. Do you know, I've got a theory as to why Saints find themselves in this position. It's a cunning act by Wakefield to paint the visitors' dressing room a bright shade of pink. There you go. Now at Knowsley Road, the visitors' dressing room is a mellow shade of pink. This one is more, as somebody described, a Mr. Blobby pink, and it certainly had an effect on Saints by the look of things.
Well, hang on, this is Edmondson, and he dumps the ball back. He managed to get away with that, and again it went backwards to Wellens, who continues the movement wide. Off the foot. Knock on, says the referee. Oh, accidental offside off the foot, he said.
Yeah, it didn't knock on. Hardman, just a neat bit of footwork there, wasn't it? But Gilmore has been deemed to be in front here. He was to start with. I'm not so sure if he finished
Hardman
up.
overran it, didn't he?
It looked that way. Neat bit of footwork though by Ian Hardman. Obviously played soccer at school.
Korkidas. We all know what he played at school, this 23-year-old raw-bone prop forward. He got a try in the defeat at St Helens in May, Korkidas. They felt they were a little hard done by that day. Wakefield, they took the Saints all the way. Solomona showed it to Jeffries.
This is good play by the Wildcats as well. They are not panicking. They've got a commanding lead at 18-6. And they're just slowing things down, trying to get themselves a good kick and chase away. They do with Jeffries.
Tajulala's homing in on this. Oh, the little knock on by A.D. Gardner. Although he says it wasn't.
I think you'll find it was. If it bobbles, 50-50, perhaps Fields is badly done to, as a little wry look at the merry flag waver on this near side. Did it move away from his hand? Slightly. They normally go against you if you don't make sure you grasp it quickly.
And here comes Domick again. Wilkin with a desperate tackle. They're 3 meters away from the line, though. 5 tackles remaining. Tajulala gets the ball away, and it's with Snitch.
Ellis is calling for the ball out wide. He's standing third receiver.
It goes to Jeffries. And this now is Spicer.
Come on, side it.
Jeffries dummy half. Great offload again. Demetriou tackled by James Graham, but still the ball is somehow smuggled away to March.
So confident, aren't they? They're going into the tackle, they're spinning, they're looking for the support.
And here's Korkidas again. That's a good driving tackle though by Wilkin, but he still steps out of it. Korkidas! Oh, he got the pass away, but straight to Willie Tallow. He was looking for the number 16, Steve Snitch.
Certainly was. Good job they got there back very, very quickly. Snitch would have gone right underneath it. Oh, what an error by Sculthorpe.
You would not
put offside.
Oh, he's got Wakefield offside at the play of the ball.
Sigh of relief from the Saints captain.
But he was pointing to them out wide. Carl Kirkpatrick.
He did warn them.
Well, they will feel hard done by as a result of that. But St Helens and Paul Sculthorpe in particular will breathe a sigh of relief. You don't expect a mistake like that from Sculthorpe. This now is Fasavalou.
They cannot rest on their laurels, though, Wakefield. They've got to make sure that the defence is solid and they're being caught in and around the play the ball area.
Great offload by Hooper to Edmondson. Edmondson is wrestled to the ground by the number 22 Applegarth. And here is Sculthorpe again. That's a good ball to Graham.
Interesting to see there Wakefield on the last 2 play the balls only having 1 marker, not having the second man in position.
Graham is grounded by Gareth Ellis on the last tackle, and Hooper will give it to Sculthorpe. The kick surely crossfield, and there it is. Looking for Adi Gardner. A leap by Semi Tadulala, and how on earth did he keep hold of that?
That's got to be a penalty.
And it is.
Quick thinking there, you know, by Tadulala. Not only did he take an absolutely wonderful take, look at that.
There you go, mate.
What a leap.
Well, actually, Wilkin, I think, got to it, and Tadulala nicked it.
It's hard to see there. Either way, it was Tadulala that came up with the possession. What a leap there. I suppose in many ways, you perhaps could you say was the man going for the man himself, or was he going for the ball? Maybe he was going for the ball.
I think they were both contesting the ball in the air.
Good tactic though by Sculthorpe.
Here's Korkidas again.
Doesn't he lead by example?
Well, he's so important to them, Michael Korkidas. And Jamie Field returns with that dislocated finger. Phil Clark, Ian Millwood on the websites has identified Wakefield as a dangerous team. I think they're proving him right tonight.
I think they seem to have a determined attitude. They've lost to a lot of the big sides. Only narrowly, haven't they, by 6 points on 4 occasions this season or less, and it shows they can get close to them, but haven't had that killer X-factor instinct that just takes them past them. Here's a mistake again, though. They've been too many handling mistakes for their own life, and they play with a lot of energy and enterprise. But I'm just cautious of how often they concede possession to this Saints side. You know, no team have scored more tries from inside their own half than St Helens this season. So despite whatever field position you have, you really have to be on your alert whenever the St Helens have the ball.
They do here now with Sculthorpe, and there's the kick for Albert. He noticed there was no one at home, and it's a great kick. And Darren Albert, oh, if he picked that up, he scores.
But why did he want to pick it up? He was so far in front. All he had to do was slow down. Now that's something you don't see very often. I don't mean the knock-on, we see plenty of those, but an actual kick and chase. It was superb thinking by Sculthorpe. I often say they bring the full-back up in defence when you have a scrum down. If you've got the fastest man in rugby league, and he is the fastest in rugby league, but what an error. He should have just stopped and kicked it over. Wet conditions, don't take it on the half volley,
and
never.
It was round his ankles anyway, so it's Wakefield who escape. This is Solomona again, Wellens and Mason and Graham combined to bring him down on the last tackle here. And Jeffries with the kick to the corner, great kick. Oh. And Albert had to just flick the ball away because Spicer was hunting.
Beautiful place kick, wasn't it? Good play by Albert in the end. Knew he had the measure, but very late. Yeah.
Great kick from Ben Jeffries, ever present this year.
He's taking control of this game in that department. He knows that it's very slippy out there, the ball skidding all over. Good job that Darren Albert was aware. He wasn't at the other end a few moments ago, though, was he?
Here they come again with Snitch, the Wildcats. Wilkin is there, Mason is there to help to bring him down. Jeffries once more, March. They will be really encouraged by this, Wakefield, the way they've gone for the opening 28.5 minutes. And Ellis.
Yet again, the height and strength of Ellis halfway through, not happy with the challenge. He went looking. That's the last thing that Wakefield want, is to get into an arm wrestle now, lose concentration, stick to the game plan, good offloads.
That wasn't the best.
That went backwards.
It's on the last.
Got to be a kick. Keep it low, Willie.
Jeffries stabs the ball through, came off the legs of Wilkin. It's still play on, that went backwards again, that didn't.
Oh, I thought he came from an offside position there. Solomona.
The last tackle, it's a handover.
Well, it wasn't the best kick, but it's a big gamble to do that. He was offside. Should have been a penalty, not a handover.
Well, it's a turnover because it's on the last tackle, says Mr. Kirkpatrick.
Well, they've got to start digging deep now.
This is Funati.
Just make the ground upfield. They know they have the quality, and certainly got the guile of St Helens. Silly penalty. He was shouting out was the official, Carl Kirkpatrick. The last thing they want to do is to concede a try in the final 10 minutes.
Yes,
He knows it too.
dangerous territory now for any opposition facing Saintsville.
Certainly is, you know, they have that factor really of scoring from anywhere, and I think though really at the moment they just don't seem to be up to the speed of the game, do they, at Wakefield? And when they have attacked the Wakefield line though, they look like scoring on most occasions. They just can't control the ball. To defend the players though, the rain is coming down quite heavily, and I suppose conditions getting pretty slippy.
Slippy indeed. Parsivalou in the heavy traffic here couldn't hang on to the football and lost it.
I'm not so sure he lost it, Eddie. I just got the impression that Snicks may have just got the arm underneath.
Well, these
Look at this. Yeah, got the arm underneath as it was going down on the blind side of the official.
in these conditions, Tony Smith, you can, I suppose, expect 1 or 2 errors now.
Sure can. It's really important, the kicking game from here on in this game, and it's going to play a major part, I think. But whether you can get to the kick, that's the big pressure for each team, whether they can actually hang on to the ball long enough.
Well, what on earth is he given here?
He's given a penalty because Wakefield did not get all heads into the scrum. But that picture seems to tell a different story.
Come on. Well, I've just been rapping the official. Oh,
That's a mistake by Mason.
Well,
Justice has seemed to be done,
it
maybe.
certainly has been done as well. Oh, come on. I mean, this is going to be very, very difficult now.
By the way, let's just clarify, Steve-O, that penalty that St Helens were awarded at the scrum, it was a differential penalty, which means they cannot kick for goal. If people at home wondering why Paul Sculthorpe didn't kick for the posts, we don't actually see too many penalties at the scrum these days, but we've seen one tonight.
Well, it was bizarre. And I think when we saw on the replay, it certainly was in there. I mean, if you wanted to go to that, nearly every scrum would be penalised.
Halpenny plays the ball quickly. Here come the Wildcats again in the shape of their captain Ellis. Good tackling though by Fozzard and also James Graham. Fozzard and Ellis, that's developing into quite a battle. That was high from Mason, but they managed to squirm the ball away. And now he has them for the head-high tackle by Keith Mason. Well, that was 3 passes ago, wasn't it?
It really was a bit late. Obviously, the official, fourth official in the stand, as you can see, they're all wired up. No doubt about it. Mason swinging the arm, right in the face.
Well, the
I
conditions
mentioned
poor
earlier,
at Wakefield, there's no doubt about that.
I mentioned earlier, Eddie, that you know, Wakefield have to concentrate. Do not get into, you know, the rough stuff, because they're playing confident rugby league football, especially in these conditions.
Referee wants a word. Hanforth takes the tackle, but the referee not happy with James Graham.
You've got your arm round his neck to use his head to bring him to the floor. That's a grapple tackle. That's what we're trying to stop.
The grapple tackle is what they're trying to stop,
to bring the man to the ground.
according to Carl Kirkpatrick, so that's a penalty to Wakefield.
Well, it's something that a lot of the coaches were not too happy about. I think it's about 3 weeks that they brought it to the attention of Stuart Cummings, head of referees.
Well, a great opportunity here for Wakefield, a good drive forward. And it was the man with the dislocated finger, was it? Oh, Solomona puts the ball down. They've dropped the ball a little bit lately. This is Willie Talau. Gets past Domick.
Good run, that'll lift their spirits.
Couldn't get away from Ben Jeffries. Hooper, infield to Sculthorpe.
Oh, great defence. Good offload, though.
By Wilkin. Hooper again. Funati. Wellens. Wide it goes. Here's Gilmore and Graham. And wide again. Edmondson operating out there on the far side. Well, he's up to his max total average for the year. 3. Shane McNally won't want any more from David Solomona if possible.
Well, in these conditions, I think that both coaches realise that they're going to pass their personal best when it comes to mistakes, I feel. Thankfully, the turf here is in immaculate condition, though.
Sculthorpe, and he has a bit of space to exploit here. Nearly did. Good tackle by Ellis and Solomona. 4 gone, 2 remaining. Wilkin at dummy half finds Wellens, and Wellens taking them on himself. Gets to within 6-7 metres maybe of the line. Last tackle, Mason at dummy half, spreads it to Sculthorpe. The kick from Sculthorpe. It's dangerous. It's all over the place. What has happened there?
Offside.
Knock on, fellas. It's a knock on.
It's a knock on.
It's a knock on.
It's a knock on.
It's a knock on, and it's a drop out underneath their own posts.
Well, he missed that one, and then they just got the boot to it, and he's in the in-goal area, so he cannot be deemed to be offside. I thought he'd gone into the field of play.
Colm Halpenny, he had to drop on it. He couldn't hold a board meeting, could he? Not underneath his own sticks. Drop out by Jeffries.
Well, they didn't even have a chance to get the chairman sat down in the official chair, did they? It's an important factor now for Saints. They know that they've got to score.
And it's important for Wakefield that they don't.
That's right. Set the alarm bells ringing.
Fossard, great offload to Hooper. This is Wellens. Wellens headed into all the heavy traffic. Hanford pulls him down. Sculthorpe. Wide it goes to Willie Tallow. Flick past to Gardner. He's got Tadulala ahead of him and David Solomona. Tallow to Sculthorpe. And Sculthorpe, well,
Great defence.
it was never going to be fooled then, Jamie Field. Last tackle for St Helens. Edmondson will play the ball to Hooper. Here is Sculthorpe. Flick pass out the back. Off the foot. Play on. Wakefield have it. It's Demetriou. It's Hanford, I'm sorry.
Good job that Albert was there. Wakefield player down in back play.
Oh, Jeffries with a run. Jeffries with a run. He's going all the way. Ben Jeffries all the way to the line. Second try for the scrum half. Ben Jeffries for Wakefield. It came from absolutely nothing. Saints were attacking the other end. Suddenly it all collapsed. And another try under the sticks for Wakefield.
Well, they took the gamble yet again, the fancy pass when they really didn't need it. It came out of nowhere from dummy half. They were all at sea with St Helens. First and second markers, they just expected this guy to die with the football. Tongue out, 4 points extra. You little beauty, look at this. It is woeful defence. They actually thought that this guy was just going to go to ground. They were thinking about the fact, oh, they'll just play out to half-time. But no, he had other ideas. Let's give him 4, it's sure to be 6.
And it is 24 points to 6. Hanforth with the conversion of Ben Jeffries' try. Well,
He will be livid in Millwall.
unbelievable. But in many ways, not so, because we've been saying all day, it's a very difficult place to come to, Wakefield, and they're in form. And Saints last week against Warrington were sadly out of form.
Well, amazing, 2 errors, both from the same man. Remember, it was Sculthorpe that got the interception by Wainwright, and it was on that occasion that Sculthorpe took the gamble yet again with a flick pass on the inside. They got 1 tackle, and then at the play of the ball, Jeffries just split them. But lack of concentration by St Helens there.
Well, the Saints have got a big hole to get themselves out of now. And here goes Hanford, 5th appearance of the year as a substitute. That was Albert Talipau who was the man at dummy half.
Much quicker at the play the ball department as well, Wakefield.
Jeffries will drill the ball behind the big fellow on the far side, Kunati. Great chase by Wakefield. Ellis is relishing this. We enter the last minute with Wakefield 24, 6 up and 14 missed tackles by St Helens. Gilmore will play the ball. Have Saints got the time and the expertise to get through this terrier-like Wakefield Wildcats defence?
Well, St Helens had 18 missed tackles, remember, against Warrington last week in the first half. They certainly tightened it up in the second. They also played a lot better. But this is not pleasing for their coach.
Sculthorpe drills the ball straight down the middle. And it surely will be safety first here now from Halpenny.
Can't get more safe than that.
And I think he was hurt then when he hit the deck. He fell pretty awkwardly. No, he's all right. Domick. Looked a bit high.
Great to see the three-quarters come back. It's hard work for the forwards. And you see another three-quarter this time. Tadulala taking away the pressure. They'll hang on now. Barely seconds remaining.
Oof. Well, Talipo nearly dropped that. But this will be, I think, this should be the last tackle of the first half. The referee blows the whistle and says it is. Well, Wakefield Trinity Wildcats 24, St Helens 6. No, it's not a joke. It really has happened in the 40 minutes here. Ben Jeffries has led the way with 2 tries. Shane McNally will be so proud of his players. What an effort from them in the first half. Sculthorpe, remember, gave Saints the lead after 3 minutes. Then it was Dominic Jeffries twice and Wainwright with the try. 24-6 to the Wildcats.
The ultimate battle.
Oh, that's a big hit.
Is one of strength.
An unstoppable ball.
And honor.
Whose nerve will hold?
When the feared
Anderson.
Meet the fearless.
Great try.
And heroes are born.
This is the moment for long. He's digged in.
It's the agony.
Oh, the tears will flow.
And the ecstasy.
There are scenes of joy on this field.
Of the grand final.
So Saturday, October the 16th, the 2004 Super League Grand Final at Old Trafford. It will be live on Sky Sports. The information line at the Rugby Football League is 0113 232 9111. And by the way, that is also the information line for any details you might need for the Gillette Tri-Nations. That is the information line open. It is open now. There has been unprecedented interest in the Tri-Nations series. And why not? Unprecedented interest in the Tetley Super League as well. But coming up on Sky Sports, we have live Australian Rugby League in the morning. 8:30, Sky Sports 3, the Warriors of New Zealand against the Parramatta Eels. And on Sunday at 7, as well as all the other tries scored in the NRL this weekend, our featured match is Manly and Canterbury. That's on Sky Sports 1. And the live Super League match on the morrow is on Sky Sports 3 at 6, Widnes against Wigan. Well, Widnes will be watching this and hoping they can come up with an equally surprising scoreline tomorrow at half-time. The Wakefield Wildcats 24, St Helens 6, and the scoreline very well deserved. Shane McNally, well, he was hopeful that his team would put in a good performance against St Helens when I spoke to him 24 hours ago. Boy, have they come up with a performance for him here. They went behind, remember, to the Sculthorpe try that he himself converted after 3 minutes. After that, one-way traffic. Now Saints paint their visitors' dressing room pink to try and put the opposition off. Wakefield have followed suit for this match, apparently, and this match only. Well, it's worked. It's worked. And Ian Millwood has a very important speech to deliver down there in the dressing room. Well, not in our usual position. 1 or 2 problems here tonight, but that doesn't matter. We have seen a truly memorable first half performance from the Wildcats. And, well, who would have actually thought that this could have happened? There was, believe me, real optimism in the town today that perhaps Wakefield could put on a performance like this. And the supporters have turned out, and boy, have the team provided them with some great entertainment. Now, the Leeds Rhinos coach, Tony Smith, is here. I suppose you could have tipped it, because Wakefield have been getting closer and closer to taking on one of you big guns and doing the business.
They sure have. They've been very good so far this season, and particularly at home. They're hard fought anywhere, really. They're a bit they play a bit differently to everybody else. They do a lot of offloads in their own area, and they've chanced their arm a little bit there tonight, and it's come off for them. So you know, they're a formidable team and challenge all of us now.
Yes, they do. And I mean, in these conditions here, it has been teeming with rain from, well, almost about 5 or 6 minutes into the match, when Saints had the lead, funnily enough.
Saints had their chances as well. They come up with some really big plays, Saints, and they kicked off the scrum and nearly scored off that, and then Sculthorpe threw that intercept pass, and it could have easily been the other way around in this game. It's been a funny game. But as I said, in these conditions from here on in, the kicking game's going to be so important. It's just whether they can get to the last place to get the good kicks in. That's the difficult part at the moment.
Well, at half-time, normally, in a match where the Saints are involved, Steve-O is waxing lyrical about St Helens. You're going to wax lyrical about the Wildcats, I think.
It certainly is, and I don't think I can say that, Eddie, after you've made a mistake on 2 occasions. Yeah, I said before the game started that perhaps this could be the banana skin that St Helens would make a bit of a mess. You wouldn't think so, though, would you? It only took them 3 minutes when Sculthorpe, after some good approach work, Fozzard's offload and Sculthorpe in for the try. But it wasn't long before Wakefield came back. This pass from Korkitis, absolutely superb. The fullback Halpenny and Domick, who is in very good form this season, right? And it just got a smell that perhaps something good was going to happen, mainly due to the fact that the pass from Sculthorpe, Albert should have scored, just lost possession there, no try, no doubt about it. Good work from Halpenny with his knee, and then Ellis, another offload. The upper body strength, and it was a fullback yet again. That was Jeffries in for his first try, and then the intercept. Sculthorpe, they went for the power play. We often see that. Did he have the speed? Wainwright, Albert, fastest in Super League, got to him. Good work from Wainwright because he went back on the arc and just got away from him. And then this should have been a try. I often feel that not many teams do this. Fullbacks always stand up in defence, but why on earth did he not use his foot? He went to pick it up and came up with a knock on. But Ian Millwood will be absolutely so mad at this. Sculthorpe testing the arm. Okay, they get to them for the first tackle, but look at the poor defence. No one at home. Anybody want to see me? No. Throw the dummy? No. Are you going to tackle me? No. Second try coming up for the halfback Jeffries, who's in fine form. His kicking has been exceptionally good. It will take something very, very special in the second half from St Helens. Remember, we mentioned the fact that last week against Warrington, in the first 40 minutes, Saints had missed 18 tackles. They haven't been as bad this time. It's only been 14. But it's going to be a big job for them to come back into this game.
Before the match, we did say, I think, that the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats were seeking their third consecutive home win in a row. That is, obviously, consecutive meaning in a row. Their third consecutive home win in Super League history for them. Phil Clark, it would be a very brave man who would say they're not going to get it.
Well, they've got every chance, and I think they deserve it. Enthusiasm alone won't always win you a game of rugby league, but it's giving Wakefield a really good chance at this half-time stage. Every team knows how important kicking is in the game of rugby league, and if you can put your opponents under pressure when it's their turn to kick the ball, it makes life that much easier. Wakefield have done that. We saw some pretty good offloading in the early stages from both sets of forwards, one there from Fozzard, and then just a few moments later, we saw David Solomona with 3 players, even 4 players almost around him, with a fantastic offload to support around him, and Tony Smith has highlighted how important that is. I thought really the enthusiasm factor after about 20 minutes tipped in Wakefield's favour, and this chase really just sort of typified the way that the game was going. Excellent work, they all worked up, and it won some field position, but they didn't always use it to best advantage. An easy mistake there. I thought Gareth Ellis, though, you talk about what an inspiration he is as a captain. He finished the first half in tremendous form. 2 big hits, 2 big tackles, and I suppose Wakefield, after coming from behind by almost 20 points last week, they've got to do it the other way around here now. Have they got the nerve to hang on against a team like St Helens?
Well, this is the scene inside the Wakefield dressing room right now. Take a quick look. Are any of those players pinching themselves? Because this scoreline at half-time is almost unbelievable. But Shane McNally, this uncanny Queenslander, doing a great job under the financial constraints that he's got here. And they are in the driving seat for the second half. Half-time here at Bellevue. We still await the appearance of the two sides. And it's Wakefield 24, St Helens 6. What a first half for Wakefield. And the significant fact as far as the Saints are concerned is the only 2 times that they were behind heavily at half-time was on the 12th of April at Bradford when they lost at Odsal. They were there trailing half-time 30 points to 4. And at Wigan in June they were down 20 points to 2. And they eventually lost by 14 points to 30. So history this season is a little bit against the Saints. But if any team can, this lot can. They have proved us wrong so many times in the past. But the Wildcats, well, they're full of it just at the moment. 14 months ago, they went to St Helens to Noty Road and they won 16 points to 10. They also beat St Helens at home in 1999, albeit that being played at Barnsley. And in 2000, they beat them here as well. So it's not completely uncharted territory for the Wildcats. But this, Steve-O, is their best chance of a shock win for a long, long time. And in Ben Jeffries, well, the fact that Sean Long isn't there, he's having a field day.
Certainly is, but you mentioned that St Helens, so many times they've come from difficult positions, way behind. They normally take control early in the match. Pretty similar to what the Bradford Bulls have done over the past 2 or 3 seasons. But yes, Wakefield must start favourites, especially with the fact that the rain has stopped. Be interesting in the first 10 minutes. Can they keep their composure? No missed tackles. Saints, of course, they've got to stop it. We mentioned 14 missed tackles in that first stanza. Ian Millwood will not like that.
So release!
Well, they take shelter under anything at Wakefield, don't they? And it really has been one of those nights here, believe me. You do not want to know what has happened here in the half hour or so prior to this game getting going.
Are they trying to copy me, Eddie?
March, I think they are. March with a great run. Oh, Jeffries, the hat-trick was beckoning.
Just a little bit of panic there when they didn't need it. March made a wonderful break, got them into a really good position.
Well, if they'd have scored then, that would have been it.
But the thing is, Eddie, when you're 24-6 up, you don't really need to force the pass. We often say, you've got to control the game. And they failed to do that.
Nick Fozzard driving it forward for St Helens. Well, this half-time scoreline achieved by Wakefield without some significant names, the likes of Jamie Rooney, David Wrench, and of course, Justin Ryder. The winger is out injured. He's on the sideline here. He's talking to Bill.
Justin Wakefield could have done with that try then if Ben had taken that pass.
Oh, if we got that one, it would have been a handy lead. 24-6 now, 36 would have put him to bed, I think. But boys done a wonderful job in the first half. I don't think you could have really asked any more from him.
Are you pinching yourself at that scoreline?
Oh, I want to get out there, get the shoes on. No.
But it really, it's an incredible one from the Wakefield viewpoint.
Yeah, well, it was important that we got a good start this week. We've been talking about it all week, and the boys have really done that. So all we've got to do really now is just to finish them off.
But this Saints side, as we all know, can come back, and they can come back and hurt you.
Yeah, they can. They can always put back-to-back tries in you, but I think the boys are up tonight, and they're really looking good this start of the second half.
You were saying, in fact, Shane McNally has been talking about their threat, back-to-back tries.
Yeah, well, they do it every week. They'll score a try and go 100, so I think we've dealt with that pretty good tonight. So hopefully, cross our fingers, they won't get any more tries.
Thanks.
Thanks very much, mate.
Justin Ryder with Bill, yes. They know the threat here at Wakefield of this St Helens side. They get 1, they can get 2, they can get 3, they can get 4 in the blink of an eye.
Well, they haven't done much opposition at the moment because of the fact that even if they try to get the ball out wide, the Wakefield defence, apart from the opening 10 minutes, a little bit shaky at that. Remember, it was poor defence who were hanging back that allowed Sculthorpe in for the first try.
They have a lot of quality, though, St Helens. Gilmore, one of them, but he got the pass away under pressure, and Jamie Field snaffled it gratefully, tackled by Wilkin. Here they come again now with Wainwright.
Well, they were panic caution there when you see that Gilmore was trying to keep the ball inside. I must say that although St Helens have been a little bit shaky, especially in the first 30, Paul Wellens is working overtime.
Okay. Jeffries with the kick all on the ground. That's an intelligent kick as well. Tadulala rather appeared to be impeded.
Offside. He'll put the scrum down, but that should have been offside. Sculthorpe was in front of the man. He wants to talk to his official. And he's going to see whether he actually lunged at that ball. Tadulala.
I thought the Wakefield man knocked it out on this one. Yes.
Does he go for it? He's going to give a penalty. I think you saw it quite clearly there. Tadulala deliberately going for the football. Now someone said some choice words to the official.
It's Ben Jeffries.
Rather foolishly. Things like this can turn the tide.
Well, how did Tadulala make an attempt to hit that ball? I mean,
I think he did.
Well, okay.
I think he was lunging. Watch, he'll lunge at the ball.
But
yeah.
You see, here we are. We're in this.
I know, but he wasn't committing himself with the shoulder into
We're in the
tackle.
controversial area again, though, about this ball and all tackle.
Not really. I think you could see quite clearly there, Eddie, that as far as I'm concerned, that's lost it. Mason has lost it. And it's getting a little bit ragged now.
It is getting a little bit tasty. A little bit tasty. Tony Smith, what's your view of this ball and all business? It's very difficult for the refs to interpret, isn't it?
Sure is. It's a real grey area. You know, I'm not trying to sit on the fence. It's a hard one for the referees to call. You know, personally on that one, I thought he went for the ball, but I thought he was the only one in the tackle at the time. I thought Domik came in afterwards, but, you know, these are split-second decisions. I'm not fence sitting. They do get it wrong sometimes. You just got to cop it and get on with it.
Steve-O has been going on about it now all season. Should it be put in the waste bin?
Oh no, I think we need to look at all the rules before we change them. You know, too often we've changed the rules and don't understand the consequences. We get into all sorts of stuff where people are holding them up and specialised strippers, not strippers, but specialised ball stealers, if you like, would come in and take the ball. But, you know, we need to have a look at the rules there. Excuse me there.
Oh, spot on, eh? If there's any specialised strippers.
Yeah, I'd like to see that rule. I think
Steve-O will be first in.
Well, I think it's just underneath the momentum rule, that one.
Here come Wakefield again, driving it in.
Good opportunity now for the Wildcats to really, really put them to bed.
Jeffries, back it comes. Bit high from Wilkin.
Certainly was.
And the referee has got them for it. It was on Jason Demetriou.
And good refereeing as well. He allowed the advantage just in case he'd gone through to score the try. Edmondson came in, but it was Wilkin that went high. Well, they're all at sea, aren't they? They're missing tackles.
John Wilkin, the transgressor, hooker against Wigan and the Bradford Bulls also. Shane McNally didn't think he needed to send out the message. David March just pointed at the sticks immediately. 26-6. If it goes over.
An amazing transformation, you know, this guy who was just about to take the penalty kick. David March, along with his brother as well. They're fiery competitors, but you know, Shane McNally, the coach, seems to have just calmed this guy down. He really concentrates on his football.
Well, it's his 45th consecutive appearance. He began the match needing 8 points for 200 for Wakefield, and he's just got them. The 8 points, so 200 points in his career for David March with the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats. 24 years of age, this young man. He'd never kicked a goal prior to April when Jamie Rooney was injured. Short kick-off from Sculthorpe. They have to go for broke now. And Wellens flicks it, and it's flicked again. And it's Jamie Field who comes up with the possession for Wakefield. You get the feeling it is not St Helens night.
They need a lot of possession. Got to try to get consecutive sets of 6, and that means that they've really got to up their kicking game.
Well, I think I'm right in saying that next weekend the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats go to Bradford. A match you'll be able to see on Sky Sports. And this will put them in fine heart for it, but that short pass from Solomona to Domik was knocked forward. The referee will put the scrum down.
Again, just a little bit anxious, trying to force the pass when you've got such a commanding lead. I know they want to try to put them to bed, but there's really in heavy traffic there, and they really don't need it. Yeah, talk about that game next week, Eddie. Of course, it looks like that
it will see the debut of Justin Harris.
Yes, well, he now can play for Bradford. The registration has been accepted by the Rugby Football League. He gave you that news before this match started here. Next Saturday, it's Saints and London at Knowsley Road, 6 o'clock, Sky Sports 2. And I believe at the top of the show I did say it was a Saturday date for Bradford. In fact, it's a Sunday date next week. We'll be with you Sunday at 6 for Bradford and Wakefield at Odsal. That's on Sky Sports 1. Saturday and Sunday next week. Friday, Saturday this. And the Friday night match is turning into a real headline stealer. Wakefield 26-6 up. And Solomona trying to disentangle himself from Sculthorpe. Does eventually. And Wellens running it. Wellens running it. Great ball. Tallow and wide to Gardner. And Gardner, now is he in or did he touch the whitewash? He's hurt anyway. And I think they're going to give this. Yeah. They're going to give it without reference to the video referee. Gardner got a clout on the hip as he slid over and scored the try. But here come the Saints. Are they on the comeback trail?
Well, if there was one man that was going to do that, it's this fella Wellens. He's had a wow of a game. Dummied through, back on the inside. Good work from Tallow to feed him. Gardner in no doubt. Kept himself low. Got the knee in the kidneys. Ooh, just. Ooh, close. Now then. Yes. Only just. Ooh, millimetre in it, is there? Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure. Why didn't Carl Kirkpatrick offer that to Ray Tennant to discover and decide?
Well, he was confident. The touch judge said it was okay. Take nothing away, though. The wonderful effort from Wellens. As I mentioned before, he's worked overtime. There, yeah. Now then. There. He's got it right. Ooh. He's got it right.
Just. It was a very brave call from the touch judge, I'll tell you. Very brave.
Well, some have good eyesight, others don't. Is this going to be the comeback trail? They've done it before. Don't leave your seats.
Indeed not. Sculthorpe to maybe add the extras. And he's just drifted it the wrong side of the post. But it's 26-10. The referee thought it was touch and go, but he asked the touch judge, and the touch judge answered in the affirmative. The try given to Adrian Gardner, the England A international. He hasn't scored in the last 7 matches. He has now. And he took a nasty bang on the back as well for his pains. He's trying to run the injury off over on that far side.
It's not easy as well, because when you get the knee in the kidneys, boy, that hurts.
By the way, Chris Joynt, who left the field earlier injured, this is his 375th, or was his 375th St Helens appearance. We have news of injuries, Bill.
Well, yes, it's on Chris Joynt, Eddie. He is not going to return for Saints this evening. That shoulder injury, at least I understand it's a shoulder injury, ruling him out for the rest of this game, and they need all their experienced hands out there, the situation they're in. And A.D. Gardner has also left the field, having scored that try. As he said, he's got a bang in the back, and he is just trying to loosen up on the sideline. So Saints are really going to struggle for this, Phil, you feel?
You do, Bill, especially when they come up with a handling error there. We've talked about the back-to-back threat they can score from tries on a try. There, they've not even completed a set, and Keith Mason's lost possession inside his own half, and that does make it difficult. Well, they've got just less than half an hour to score 3 converted tries. They are capable of doing it, and I've been watching for the last few minutes just which one of the St Helens players would do something inspirational to give his team a chance of coming back into this game. It tended to be Paul Wellens, but he needs 1 or 2 others to lift their own game too.
This is Gareth Ellis, meanwhile, for Wakefield. Yes, if any team can score 3 converted tries in the second half, it is Saints.
Oh, without a doubt. Wakefield certainly did that in the space of about 8-10 minutes.
That's interesting. Handling errors are all square now. Korkidis.
Always looking for the offload, isn't he? It's imperative now that Wakefield make sure that they just keep themselves camped down. With Jeffries, the kicking game has been pretty superb.
Solomona.
The second phase, you know, from Wakefield has been good.
David March. March gets the ball away. He's going to give this. He's going to give this, and Steve Snitch has got the try for Wakefield. Right under the stick, Steve Snitch. Well, that snuffs out any hopes of a St Helens revival in the short term. Just Just look at the faces on these Wakefield fans. They've waited a long time for this. They've been knocking on the door of beating one of the big sides this year, and tonight could be the night. Shane McNally, he'll be bursting with pride.
He certainly is, and he just shrugged the shoulders and said, well, it could have been a bit forward. It looked a little bit dodgy. You see better from this, but in the first half, first and second markers looked okay, didn't it, from that angle? But the first and second marking from St. Helens has been exceptionally poor. March took full advantage of that. Always looking for the support.
Steve Snitch with his first try of the year, and he's playing his 7th game in a row as a substitute. The last time he missed was against the Saints in May when they lost at 32 points to 10. It is Wakefield's game to lose now.
It certainly is, but I'm sure that Shane McNally will get the message out. Look, we cannot just defend. We know what Saints are capable of. We have to keep playing positive rugby league football, good kick and chase, good position. And if the chance comes, make sure that you've got support. Don't force a pass if it's not there.
Well taken by Dimitriou, and a great offload as well to Gareth Ellis. It's coming off for Wakefield. This is the try scorer, Steve Snitch. Again, Tony Smith, can St. Helens come back?
Oh, you can never rule them out. I think missing some of their stars here at the moment and a few injuries, it's going to be real tough for them tonight. And I just feel that Wakefield have got their tails up and they're taking some chances, and it's coming off for them tonight. So, I think it's going to be Wakefield's night in the end, but you can't discredit Saints.
Indeed not. 22 points is the difference. This is Ben Jeffries. Oh, and he was airborne then as Hooper hit him. And Fuanati manages to clutch the ball out of the air.
It was a good take as well. Look at the possession. Talk about controlling the game. It's certainly there. The support play by Saints has been poor. Not many runs from dummy half. It was always going to be a big ask, wasn't it? John Wilkin.
Indeed.
Into the hooking role. He's played well over the past 4 to 5 weeks when he's substituted. Well, taking the place, should I say, of Kieran Cunningham, but the Saints to be without so many star players.
Well, they're 3 world-class players, aren't
Yeah.
they? Long, Gleeson enforced till the end of the season. They won't be coming back long, maybe for the playoffs, providing Saints get there. And Mickey Hyam also out injured. Big blows. And that went back off Halpenny. He cut a heavy bang. And here comes Jason Dimitriou. And this is Semi Tajulala. And this fella's quick. Is he quick enough? Yes, he is. Tajulala with the try for Wakefield. The referee hasn't given it yet.
Just check it back there and make sure there was no knock-on.
He wants to check there was no knock-on way back downfield. Tajulala, the man with the wacky hairstyle, has come up with maybe the try that puts the Saints to bed.
There was no knock-on.
But was there a knock-on downfield?
Halpenny, there was not. It went backwards. Play on, March. Got it through. Dimitriou did the rest. Kept his cool. And again, St. Helens have been caught out. As Ellis get the ball, and Halpenny, the full back, has it knocked back. I think this is knocked out. It's going backwards all the time. It was a great tackle from Mason. This will be TRY time. And listen to the faithful here. Wants to see a different angle. He's twisting, he's facing his own sticks. This will stick.
Well, Saints, I can tell you while we're watching this, have all moved back for the scrum.
They'll walk to the halfway line.
They've got to go back and get behind their post. That's a try for Tajulala. It's a long trudge now for the St. Helens players. They were all on halfway. Tajulala with the try. The Fijian international.
Well, as Tony Smith has said, you chance your arm, and they've certainly been giving that. The centre did well, kept his cool back on the inside. The support play has been outstanding. by the Wildcats. And the man who plays with what I think is a week has scored the 4 points that surely now will seal the fate of the St. Helens side. Yet another missed tackle. Beautiful offload, just sucked in the full back. And he knew that he had to run away on a corner, run on the angle. He'll be delighted with that. And so will this guy.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And Tony Smith alongside him. David March has added the extras for Wakefield. And Semi Tadulala, his last try on Sky Sports in April. Been a long time. He's got one here tonight to make it 38-10. And hey, Semi, we're with you at Odsal next weekend. He enjoys the cameras. And Wakefield are loving this.
It is an amazing hairstyle, isn't it? It really does look as though you just plonked an Irish on top.
More injury news here from Bill.
It's turning into one of those nights for St Helens, Eddie, because Darren Albert has just left the field now. He was involved in that Rugby League's fastest man sprint on Wednesday night. And I understand that before that there was some concern over his fitness, but he was allowed to take part in it. And he seems to have had a recurrence or whatever that injury is. So he's come off, and Adi Gardner, who picked up a knock a few minutes ago, has come back on.
Give him 10.
Well, he's had a hamstring problem for Darren Albert. His thigh is coated in cling film. So there's a problem for St Helens. There are problems all over the field.
Look at the enthusiasm now, this Wakefield defence. They're moving up quickly out wide, forcing St Helens into virtually one-out football.
They still have pace though, but great tackle on Kalau by Tadulala. Mason, oh what a hit by Solomona and Domick. Last tackle, and Saints only 30 metres away. Sculthorpe just hoofs it downfield to get out of trouble.
It's a poor kick too.
Halfpenny is underneath it. He's got Wainwright in support. Takes the tackle though from Wellens.
Again, Wellens leading the way, trying to lift them.
Wainwright again. Wellens with an important tackle. March. Here's Ellis.
Oh, got underneath that. That was a swinger.
Little signal from March. Behind his back, it's coming this way, and it is. Field.
They're sharing the work as well, the Wildcats.
Jeffries looking for the hat-trick. Has support. It's with the number 22 Applegarth. They keep the movement going. Oh, awful pass. Went backwards, play on. And young Roby is able to take the ball forward a metre or two. Inside the last quarter. Surely there can't be a St Helens comeback, or can there?
I don't think so now. I think they've run out of time, mainly due to the fact that this Wakefield defence has just really stepped up. Not just one gear, but 5. They are in overdrive. Look at that, 22 missed tackles as against 7.
Great ball from Sculthorpe. Here comes Edmondson.
Good tackle by the fullback Halfpenny. Could have been penalised. Held on a little bit longer.
Good hands, great hands. It's Gardner again. And here is young Roby. And James Roby goes over for the try.
Excellent score.
That was out of the top draw from St Helens. And Roby, his first try, he was standoff against Bradford Bulls over Easter. And he's back here tonight with a try. Can it spark the revival?
Well, it certainly can when you can see that the offload there from Sculthorpe to Edmondson. Quick play the ball. Superb play. Back on the inside. And Roby did very well indeed. They caught them napping here. Cover defence came sliding through. They positioned themselves well. What a neat step to finish it off. Can they? I wonder. They've done it before, Eddie.
They have, and Sculthorpe just lining up this conversion. 38-14, 38-16 if this sails over. And that's the score. Wakefield 38, St Helens 16. 22 points. And quite a bit of time left. You would say no against any other side, maybe. When you talk about St Helens, though, Phil Clark, absolutely anything is possible.
Yeah, but they won't come back in this game, Eddie, that's for sure.
Oh, stand by then.
Do you know, I felt the ground move before kick-off here in Wakefield tonight, and certainly the Wakefield side have been pretty special. I thought the try that Semi Tajulala scored would have to be a contender for try of the season. Steve-O's touched on it before, but the support play for Wakefield, you know, basically that just means running close to the man who's got the ball in his hands, and Wakefield have had enough guys with a desire to do that. Whenever they've had somebody carrying the ball, they put themselves into a good position, and if he's got his hands free and offloaded to him, it's proved dangerous times for St Helens.
Well, I'm convinced there is a comeback on now if Phil says there's no chance. I really am. There's 16 minutes left. Any time St Helens score one, they can come back and score two on the bounce. And here comes Gilmore, but
You're a cynic.
Ellis with the tackle. Wilkin, Wellens.
It'll be interesting to see whether
Great offload again. Roby
Wakefield
once
just...
more, and another offload. Wellens. Saints are pinging the ball about. Here comes Sculthorpe. Oh,
Pass anyway.
well, it was a dipping pass to Willie Tallow.
Tajulala's on his way, but he'll be brought back. Not many opportunities for the centres until late in this game. No momentum in that. Tallow certainly couldn't dip down and pick it up.
Well, Tony Smith, Phil Clark says there's no chance of a St Helens revival.
Yeah,
What
I'm with him on this occasion. You know, they got their tails up. Saints' kicking game hasn't been good enough, I don't think. But I will say this young boy Roby, he's made a difference. He's really added a spark to him since he's been on. Created a great try. I disagree with Phil on the try of the year. I really like the little try that St Helens put on there. He started it and he finished it. It was talent.
Yes, he is a talent, young James Roby. Here's March. Drilled into the ground by Fastavolu.
Wakefield just have to keep their composure now. They
Oh, hang on, here's Ellis. It was a wonderful pass from Demetriou. Ellis looked right, there was nobody there, had to take the tackle from Hardman. It's got to be a penalty, has to be. Hardman was in the ruck, couldn't get out of the way.
And that was well won by the fact that they kept the ball. Demetriou back on the inside to the skipper. But watch March here. March says get out of the way, and what does he do? He runs right over the top of him. Make sure that the youngster couldn't get out of the way. He'll take the two. Sometimes, you know, it takes quite a few years for players to develop into not just an average player, but a fine athlete and a man that reads the game well. And I must say that this season, David March is a thinker. A couple of years ago, he wasn't thinking too much about rugby league football. He often let himself down with losing his temper, but he looks very calm and collected these days, and it's a wonderful asset. You ask Shane McNally that, the coach.
So David March with a chance to add 2 more points, which he does. They've hit the 40 mark, Wakefield. 40 points to 16. And David March, I think if my maths are correct, that's his 7th successful kick tonight. And, well, Ian Millwood saw the green shoots of a revival, perhaps.
Well, as the water was going down his throat, Eddie, it was, I think the 2 points are going right down the drain also. Tony Smith will be our guest tonight, will be very pleased indeed that Saints have been denied the 2 points.
Well, you say that, but with a team like St Helens, it's very, very difficult to write them off. And this is great defence, though, from Wakefield. And Fastavolu felt that. There's Roby again. Goes wide to Hooper. Here is Sculthorpe, and wide again to Tallow. Good tackling by Domick and Jeffries. They don't want this to go. They don't want any problems late on. Gardner keeping the ball alive now, St Helens. Edmondson. And again, a flick pass. Roby.
A lot more fluent now, St Helens.
Sculthorpe. Sculthorpe. The hole's opened up. Edmondson. He'll get that down.
Yeah.
That's a try for Edmondson.
He'll go to the screen. It's certainly on the arm of the fullback, Colm Halpenny. But Edmondson, well, we had a controversial try last week, didn't we? I don't think he's got that on terra firma.
I wonder what Dennis Betts would say about this.
I think he'd say no try. I think Halpenny has got the arm underneath. You can't see it from that angle. There he is, number 14. Watch for the arm going underneath. And I don't think that is touching a blade of grass. Never mind 2 or 3.
I'm going to use that awful phrase. Benefit of doubt.
I don't think there's any doubt.
Attacking side.
This is no try.
Well, Edmondson maybe has other ideas, but the important man is Ray Tennant. What does he say? He agrees. And Ian Millwood doesn't agree. It's 5th tackle for St Helens. That's how we restart now. Last one.
To be fair, Eddie, it was quite clear as far as I was concerned. That's not a good kick. In fact, it's pathetic. Full credit, though, to Halpenny. He's on his body around it, make sure that the arm was underneath the ball. And I think that was quite clear.
Well, as I say, Wigan will say it's exactly the same as what happened to them on Tuesday night, but the video referee has to be convinced. And Ray Tennant, one of the best, he wasn't.
What, wasn't one of the best?
No, wasn't convinced.
Glad you confirmed that.
This is the last tackle. Jeffries with a big kick downfield. And Gardner just waited. Tajalala.
Gave him a bit of a facial then.
Hefty tackle. He's hurt his Gardner.
Yeah, he took that back.
Great hit by Ellis.
He took that knock, Eddie, earlier while scoring the try. And it's difficult to play when you've had the knees accidentally, I might add, into the back, into the kidney region.
Hooper, and it's wide to Gilmore. That's a great tackle from Michael Wainwright. Stopped him dead in his tracks. Wilkin. Well, that was for the touch judge.
Nothing that Fionati could do. Well, they're big shoes to step into, aren't they? And he knows he has done wrong. Kieran Cunningham missing. Mickey Hyam missing. But I've been impressed with him, Eddie. He tries really hard, this fella, John Wilkin. OK, came up with the error.
And here come the Wildcats again from the scrum. It was Spicer. Solomona. He has made such a difference to this team. He and Sid Domick. But Ellis, a great captain. And on the bounce to Tajalala. And it's stuck. Inside the last 10.
Always nice to have a finisher out on the park. And Tajalala certainly has shown that.
Domick just couldn't get the pass away then.
I just have a feeling that Ben Jeffries will be looking for his hat-trick.
This is Korkidas. Last